Well, good evening, Arkansas. This is Chief Forecaster Cameron back here once again. I'm going to give you guys an evening forecast preview before your 7-day forecast is out around that 7:45 time frame this evening here. So, not much going on across the natural state at this current time here. We've got temperatures in the 70s and 80s. We've been, like I mentioned before, the last couple of days in that fall-like pattern where temperatures are being held down due to the cloud cover, and it appears this afternoon we're starting to chip away at the cloud cover. We should get into clear skies as we get towards the night, and especially today on Friday here. So right now across the board, as I mentioned before, we've got 81 in Fayetteville right now, 82 in Fort Smith, 81 here in the metro. We've got some 70s down in southern Arkansas. As of right now, El Dorado is coming at the coolest at 72 degrees here. So temperatures are going to continue to fall as we get towards this evening and into the night, setting the stage for a very, very cool night across the natural state here, with temperatures easily falling into the 50s and 60s here. And I cannot rule out, especially in the higher elevations here, possibly some upper 40s and low 50s tonight here. So definitely a cool evening coming up here, but unfortunately, it's not going to last for very long as temperatures look to rebound as we get towards the late weekend and especially next week here. So let's go ahead and talk to you guys about those highlights here. As I mentioned before, the coolest night so far this week is expected for tonight. Temperatures really, really cool across the state as that cooler and drier air really starts to settle in across the area. Active weather does appear to return as we get towards late in the month. I'm going to have a discussion about that coming up towards the end of this video here. And the same thing that we've been talking about over the last couple of days, the wildfire and the burn ban issuance has been a problem for us here in Arkansas here, and that's because we haven't had a lot of significant rainfall, etc. So I know the urge is there, guys. We sound like a broken record talking about the wildfire danger and the burn bans, but we talk about it for a reason, because we don't want any massive wildfires ongoing or anything like that, because that is a threat to life and property. So if you're under a burn ban, heed those burn bans, guys. I want to stress that at this point. And speaking of those burn bans, let's take a look at the burn bans we've got in place right now here, and they're a little bit lower than they were over the last couple of days here, as we've gotten some rainfall that's kind of chipped away at these burn bans here, but we still have some down in southwest Arkansas, far southeast Arkansas, and a couple of counties here in central Arkansas here. Now, we've seen some improvements with the wildfire risk here. Remember, the last couple of days, southern Arkansas has just been blanketed with the high wildfire risk here. They've seen some rainfall. Temperatures have been kind of low. You've had a lot of cloud cover, so things are not really conducive at the moment for wildfires to get going here. However, the moderate risk and high risk is still there, folks, especially for central and south Arkansas. So even if you're not in a burn ban, make sure you're taking the correct precautions. Don't let any fires get out of control. The ground is still very dry here, so I want to make that clear. I know it's annoying to hear that every day, but we have to talk about it because it is there and it can pose a threat to life and property here. Now, let's talk about the next 6 to 14 days here, guys. And like I mentioned before, don't get used to these temperatures just yet. I promise you, we're about a couple of weeks away from it being permanent, but temperatures are going to start to rebound as we get towards late in the weekend and especially into next week, with above normal temperatures really being shown towards that 22nd through the 28th time frame here. And I talked about this yesterday. I am growing concern of a potent storm system coming our way towards that end of that time from that 22nd to the 28th time frame here, and I do believe that system will make the transition happen pretty quickly from a summer light pattern to a fall light pattern here. So something that we're going to keep an eye on as we get towards late in the month here. And let's talk about the precipitation outlook here over the next 6 to 14 days. Above normal precipitation, that's typically normal whenever you start to get into that true pattern change, getting out of that summer pattern and going into the fall pattern here, guys. So let's take a look at the weather for tonight here. We've got temperatures, like I mentioned before, in the 50s and 60s across the area. Jasper coming in at 51. It took everything in my power not to go 48 or 49 up there. I think temperatures are going to be elevated just a little bit, but I wouldn't be surprised if we get a message tomorrow morning saying, hey, we're in the 40s up here in the higher elevations in northern Arkansas. But rest of the state, central and south Arkansas, you should be in the upper 50s to low 60s across the area here. Now, let's take a look at the next 10 days or a little bit beyond here. And this is what I was talking about coming up late next week and into next weekend here. We're going to be monitoring a pretty powerful storm system starting to develop out here towards the west. It's kind of separated from the main storm jet that's up here in Canada here. But I'm going to keep my eye on this system here, because what's going to happen, we could take this out in time over the next couple of days to get towards next weekend. It really starts to ramp up across the Rockies here towards the plains. Something that we'll have to watch around that 24th to the 26th time frame here as this system continues to kind of move towards Arkansas. You can see it starts to open up, starts to weaken, but look at your hour time frame. That's 252 hours out. So we have plenty of time. That's past 10 days to kind of monitor this system here. But I would not be shocked towards the end of the month with the true change to pattern, true change to a fall-like pattern, that we have some sort of thunderstorm activity, possibly some severe weather to deal with around that time frame here. And as always, we'll keep you guys updated right on your source for all things Arkansas weather.